What's up, everybody? GenExDividendInvestor here. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. My goal is to inspire, educate, and entertain you as I share lessons I've learned from investing for over 25 years in the markets. My favorite strategy is dividend growth investing, so if that interests you, then please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and click that bell notification. In this video, I review my entire dividend portfolio, which is now worth over $2 million and which just hit a new milestone amount for annual dividend income. I share my portfolio and story on YouTube not to brag over the internet, which is immature to say the least, but I do it in hopes that someone out there gets motivated to start investing, or to keep investing, as I'm a testament to what is possible if you invest for decades. So my channel that I originally started as a way to document my investing thoughts for my kids has evolved into a passion hobby for me. For reference, I never won a lottery, nor I had a dime handed to me, and in fact I started with negative net worth due to student loans. I didn't have a YouTube channel blow up or anything. I basically just kept plugging away at investing over a long period of time, through good and bad markets. You can watch my video called How to Become a Millionaire to see what I did. Now, if you're someone who doesn't get motivated by videos like this and instead you're thinking that you could never build a large portfolio, then I'm here to tell you you can do it. But you don't need a multi-million-dollar portfolio to be ahead of the game. You see, most people don't ever directly invest in the stock market, so if you have just $1 invested in a brokerage, then at least from that perspective you're ahead of some others. And if you haven't opened a brokerage yet, then use my M1 referral link in the description of this video, as M1 is offering a free $30 to new accounts if you meet their requirements. So let's pretend that you build your portfolio to $13,000, which is an amount you can do. Is that worth doing? Well, a $13,000 portfolio at a relatively conservative 4% portfolio yield will still make you $520 a year in dividends, which is $10 a week. Think about that. For probably the rest of your life, you will get what equates to around $10 a week for free, doing nothing, showing up in your account. And realistically, it will increase over time. $10 a week might not sound like much, but that's what the average person makes working at McDonald's, and you probably have better taxes from your dividends than your McDonald's compensation. So what if you did work at McDonald's and you want to build $1 million portfolio? Is that still possible? First, be positive. Instead of convincing yourself that you'll never be able to grow $1 million portfolio, start instead thinking of how you will do it. If I was young and working at McDonald's, I'd focus on growing my income so I could invest more, while living frugally. I would do things like cancel Netflix if I had it and instead just consume free content on YouTube. I'd never eat out. Then I'd evaluate my job at McDonald's. Is it something I could grow in and move up the ladder? If that didn't interest me, then I might look at becoming a plumber or a welder or electrician or something. Those jobs pay much better on average, are in huge demand, they train you on the job as an apprentice, they don't have a college degree requirement, they can't be outsourced overseas, and they won't realistically be lost to robots in the next few decades. I'd go into it realizing that it can suck starting out, but it's also exciting to start something new knowing you can grow. An apprentice or any new employee will need to prove that they have a good work ethic and that they can show up on work on time and can work hard. Slowly you'll learn more stuff and do more complex stuff, and sure, maybe you have to work some 50-hour weeks, but you'll probably be getting overtime. What else could you do to grow your income? You could do Uber or Amazon delivery on the side. You could also start an online business. Start a blog, a YouTube channel, whatever. Learn new skills and eventually grow more income streams. Let's see what kind of portfolio a young person could realistically build if they were consistent. This calculator shows us if you started at $0 and then you invested $100 a month and got a 9% return, which is about what the S&P 500 does over time, and you did that for 50 years, then you would end up with a $1.1 million portfolio. If you up your investment to $200 a month, then you can break $1 million in 40 years. If you want to grow faster, then invest more, but I wanted to show you how small investments can still achieve big results if you do it for long periods of time. Okay, now onto my portfolio. So what's my new yearly estimated dividend income milestone? Well, I just broke $82,000 a year in expected dividend income because JPMorgan Chase just announced a dividend increase of 11% from 90 cents per share per quarter up to $1 per share per quarter. Thus, they're increasing it from $3.60 per share per year up to $4 per share per year. I have 449 shares of JPM, so my annual income just went from $1,616 to $1,796, which means that their dividend increase just increased my annual income by about $180. Beyond that, I've had a slew of other increases this year. Caterpillar increased their dividend by 8%. Leggett Platt increased their dividend by 5%. Procter Gamble did a 10% increase, and Home Depot also did a 10% increase. And I had increases from Chevron, Apple, Travelers, Realty Income, Colgate-Palmolive, Johnson Johnson, and a bunch of others. Anyways, when I do my portfolio reviews, I prefer to use my dividend spreadsheet because I find it easier to make the information understandable. But feel free to watch my other videos where I show you my dividend stocks in Fidelity, or old ones where I show you my stocks that used to be in E-Trade. So let's jump into it. Okay, here we are in my portfolio, and if you see the numbers and colors changing, it's because it's during the trading day on Tuesday. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. So let's go over this column by column. First we have the ticker, and I highlight this ticker based on the payout date, as I found that useful now that I'm living on my dividends. And so if it's highlighted in yellow, that means it's going to pay out within the month, and if it's highlighted in the cyan color, it means it's paying out within a week. And if it highlights it in green, that means it's paying out today, and white means it's longer than a month from now. So for example, Pepsi, it's highlighted in this color, which means it's paying out within 7 days. And we see that the pay date, sure enough, is the same color, and it's tomorrow, which is 6/30, and it pays out $825.60 per pay period, which is quarterly in this case, and thus it pays out $3,302 a year. But let's go over these. So we have the ticker, then the logo, the account, and right now it's on all, so it adds up all the different accounts, but there's 6 different accounts that you can optionally use. So for example, different IRA accounts, taxable accounts, whatever. Quantity, so in this case I have 1,738 shares of Apple. Right now I have this sorted based on market value from highest to lowest. So you can just come up here and sort it like that. Then the percent of the portfolio, so Apple is 9.77% in my dividend portfolio. The current price, how much it's changed today, and the percent daily change, and how much that was reflected in your portfolio. So Apple is up 1.15% today, which means it's up about $2,711. And then we have my market value. In this case, I have $236,000, almost $237,000 of Apple. X date, pay date, dividends per pay period, dividends per year, the dividend yield. So you can see Apple's a very low yielder, 3-year dividend CAGR, and a few other metrics. And then shows the sector over here, the beta, and then we have kind of a dividend payout calendar here where you're always in the center month. In this case it's June, and in a few days it'll be July. To the left shows you historical dividends that have paid out, and to the right of the column you're in are the dividends that are anticipated to pay out. And if you scroll down, then you can see what has paid out in the previous months, the totals, and what's anticipated to pay out. So we see I have about $237,000 worth of Apple, then $213,000 of Microsoft, $147K of Johnson Johnson, about $140K of T, $132K of MO, $124K of PM, about $119,000 of Exxon, $112-ish of Pepsi, $106K of 3M, $105K Duke, $103,000 for Procter Gamble, about $95,000 McDonald's, $89,000 of Coke, $89,000 of Realty Income, $74,000 of AbbVie, about $74,000 Kimberly Clark, $69,000 of JPM, $67,000 of Southern, $67,000 of Chevron, $54K of Colgate-Palmolive, about $50K of Leggett Platt, about $45K of Caterpillar, $35K of Starbucks, $32K of Home Depot, $23,000 of Travelers, and about almost $20,000 of Pfizer. And we can see that brings the portfolio total to about $2.4 million. And if we scroll here, we can see that I have about 27,000 shares of stocks. And we see that today the portfolio is down about 0.16%, which is about $3,800. And we can see that my dividends per year are about $82,138. And I'm at a 3.39% average weighted portfolio yield and an average weighted dividend CAGR of 7.55%. And if I scroll out a bit, so these two columns here are for dividends per share per year. This is the one that kind of loads automatically, and it just goes over the web and finds the information. Usually it can take a few weeks from an update being announced and actually happening for it to make it automatically into the spreadsheet. And this is one that I can put in manually if I don't want to wait for the automatic. So for example, you can see right now I'm at 82,138 when JPM's at $4 a share. But if I delete that, you can see that I was at 81,959. So that's what it was until they did the announcement. And then doing that popped me up to the 82,000 milestone there. And then there's some other kind of functionality in the tool. Here is a new tool that we're creating that allows you to put in some information like minimum yield, minimum number of consecutive years, CAGR. These are optional. The sector, it's a monthly payer. Hit search, and then it looks through the database and finds stocks that kind of meet that criteria. We've got this tool that you can put in 2 tickers, and it does a comparison and pulls up some interesting metrics where you can, at a glance, just look at them and determine what you think about them. And then there's a tracker, which you can use to actually track your dividend income, and it gives you a heads up into what things are going to pay out and how much you've gotten. Then you have a tool kind of like the stock comparison, but it's used for ETFs. And there's a few other tools, one that lets you look up some relevant information about financial metrics, one that does a basic DCF. Here's a tool that lets you put in a fake portfolio value and then a CAGR, and it kind of shows you how it grows over time going out, many years. And then these 2 lines estimate how your income will grow over time based on if you don't have a drip versus if you have a drip. So for example, you can see that I start around 82 grand, and then by year 6, I'll be at 127 grand if the CAGR holds, and I'm not reinvesting the dividends, or it'll be at 157 grand if I am reinvesting the dividends. And it shows you kind of year over year how that dividend income can grow all the way up to year 30. And then there are a few other fun metrics here. Here's your yearly passive income at about 82 grand, which turns out to about a monthly average of $6,800, which is about $1,580 for a weekly average, which is $225 a day, and then an hourly. And then we have some metrics on how the Dow is doing today and the futures and S&P 500 and such. And then there's some useful graphs down here which show you your portfolio value percentage by sector. And we've got annual passive income percentage by sector, and then an annual passive income percentage by ticker, and portfolio value percentage by ticker. And here's the estimated annual dividend income with no drip versus a drip, so you can see the power of compounding over time. Nice. I've been living on my dividends to pay my expenses for about 9 months now, and I'll do a video about what I've learned living on dividends when I hit the 1-year mark in October. It's really been an amazing experience, but I was wrong about a few things which I'll elaborate on in that future video. Anyways, if you'd like to be able to use my spreadsheet to track your stock portfolio, then sign up on patreon.com at the Aristocrat level using the link in the description of this video. Aristocrats gain access to my Dividend Spreadsheet product that I use in this video, and to multiple private channels on my Dividend Discord, including one where I let my Patreon Aristocrats watch my videos before I release them publicly on YouTube. And my Aristocrats get special access to a private Discord channel that lets them vote on which thumbnails I use for my videos. And of course they get more direct access to chat with me. I highly recommend that you join my free Dividend Discord chat server, which has thousands of dividend investors on it from almost 60 countries around the world. Finally, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and click that bell notification. Thanks for watching, stay positive, and I'll talk to you again real soon. I am not a financial advisor, and these videos are for entertainment, inspiration, and educational purposes only. Investing of any kind involves risk. I am only sharing my opinion with no guarantee of gains or losses on investments.